me out. I am the face of depression. I am the face of anxiety. I am the face of suicide.
Tied to the many stigmas and stereotypes they use to define me.
I am not broken. I am not irrational. I am not alone. Each day required to hide the pain that goes behind these eyes. I hear you. I feel you. I am you. Hear me out.
You up. Stop talking about me, honestly.
I like that energy.
You've crossed the line numerous times, but as time goes on and you think back about what he was actually trying to accomplish, you're like, yeah, he was a hell of a teammate.
What do you want me to tell him?
That he just needs some inspiration how to get into the business because he got.
Oh man, go to a good school. Okay. Nightmare Factory, Black and Brave, Nightmare Factory, Monster Factory, any place that has a good quality ring where you're safe. And if you don't like it, don't worry. It all hurts in the beginning and then none of it hurts. But again, it's not for you. Don't worry about it.
Wrestling has more than one black champion.
Negro icon Cody Rhodes, doing it for the culture munchie. When blacks are down, Cody's there,
Hear me out. I am the face of depression. I am the face of anxiety. I am the face of suicide.
Tied to the many stigmas and stereotypes they use to define me.
I am not broken. I am not irrational. I am not alone. Each day required to hide the pain that goes behind these eyes. I hear you. I feel you. I am you. Hear me out. Hear me out. I am the face of depression. I am the
I'll beat you up. Stop talking about me, honestly.
I like that energy.
You've crossed the line numerous times, but as time goes on and you think back about what he was actually trying to accomplish, you're like, yeah, he was a hell of a teammate.
What is going on, guys? I'm not sure if you can hear me, but let's try it out real quick. Sound right? What's going on, guys? This is Marlon Dinkins back behind the microphone, and this is season 1, episode, what are we at, 2, 3, who knows? Episode 2 of the Take It Home podcast. We got some really cool guests this season. Some prestigious guests this season, coming from some really cool promotions. So I hope you guys enjoy it. A lot of it's going to be live. A lot of it's going to be productive. Definitely going to be pushing out some good vibes, promoting some good events, making some trips back to some familiar areas of indie wrestling. But we'll start it off with, how shall we say it, a familiar place. One of the best places I've been at as far as prestige goes, ECWA, one of the best promotions, hands down, in my opinion, in indie wrestling, and actually you could say pro wrestling, I would say, since it's come of age. So it's a really amazing promotion, a lot of lineage, a lot of history. If you have not ventured onto their YouTube, check them out. Plenty of content. I will let you know you're going to see a lot of familiar faces, because basically ECWA to me is a pipeline to the big boys, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces. Daniel Bryan, who else, man? There's so many. AJ Styles, Super 8, Adam Cole. It's a long list. So we'll go through it. The guest today is Cheyenne Ortiz. He is the voice, and he actually has taken over some reigns at ECWA. Not going to spoil that right away, but let's bring him on. I believe he is backstage. 1 second, Cheyenne. Let's see if I can hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, okay. No bugs yet. Okay, no big bugs yet. All right, we got the voice, man. How you been, bro?
I'm doing all right. I want to thank you so much for thinking of me and having me.
It's good to see you. Good to see you, of course. I've watched you actually from afar quietly for a long time. I see you though now at ECWA, and anybody that pops up ECWA kind of sparks my radar because obviously, at least from my point of view, ECWA doesn't really doesn't bullshit. I'm not going to censor myself. They don't bullshit. They bring in high level people, high value. We'll say wrestlers, superstars. Y'all can call them superstars. I'm old school. I'm gonna call them wrestlers. Cheyenne, speak to. I'm gonna be real cliche right now. What's ECWA mean to you?
You know, I have a very special connection with ECWA as an individual, but most importantly as a fan. I am very much a believer that we're all fans. Otherwise, we would not be a part of this, do this, love this, watch this, whatever. But I have a special affiliation with ECWA because I come from a generation in which the magazines were everything for pro wrestling. I come from a generation of which before the internet and dirt sheets were as ubiquitous as they are now, even in a kayfabe standpoint, we had the magazines. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, One Wrestling, Wow, all of them. And the first taste of indies that I got, I've talked many times about how I can very much remember seeing the Metal Maniac in magazines. I've talked about many times how I've talked about the Metal Maniac and Jimmy Snuka's feud being the first, like, oh, there's other wrestling than WWE, WCW, ECW. And one of the first tournaments that I can recall hearing about outside of the WWE was the Super 8. And the Super 8 was in all the magazines that I saw growing up. Every year was, you either got this comprehensive look at the competitors or the event itself every year. And there's many guys that I didn't know who they were at the time, but they were in the Super 8. And then eventually they, 9.5 or 9.9 out of 10, they all had these flourished careers, some of which still do to this day. So I have this real special affinity of reading about this promotion as a kid, not realizing that I would be part of it.
That's crazy. Full circle.
Yeah.
I love full circle stuff like that, boy. That's wild. How many Super 8s have you been with the company for, if I can ask?
I've been with the company for only 2 Super 8s.
Okay.
Only for 2. Would have been 3, but I had to miss one. But I've been a part of 2, and it's kind of like, this might be an analogy that gets me a bunch of heat. It's like, it's kind of like WrestleMania in the sense of, like, you think if you've seen one, you've seen them all, but they're all very different from the other.
Nope. All the events itself have such character, and then the entertainers, the wrestlers inside of those events, usually, cream of the crop. So they're not going to lack character. These are people that are going to have work rate. They're going to check all the boxes: work rate, character, persona, on the stick, fan interaction, engagement. They're going to check all the boxes. At least from my experience with ECWA, they don't bullshit. So that's good to hear that the prestige is still being held to a certain level. Yeah,
very much so.
Very much so. Okay. What do you have any Super 8 moments that just pop to you that are just you'll never forget?
It's very much a cliche, but I can remember the moment that always goes back to me with ECWA is the first Super 8 that I did, the 2022 one, I believe, which Darius Carter won.
It's a bad man.
And I can remember, and Darius and I are friends, and I'll try to trim the fat on this, but I can remember it's my first Super 8. I'm doing these interviews, these backstage interviews throughout the day. I'm catching up with people who have won, who have lost, who are advancing, who are leaving the tournament. And then it's the one. It's the interview with the winner. And I'm doing it backstage, and it felt like a legitimate sports moment because I have people taking photos, I have people taking video, I have the locker moving around, and it's on ECWA's YouTube. If you've never seen that promo, make it your business to go watch it, because it is one of my top 3 backstage interviews that I've ever done with Darius Carter, and that is always going to be my ECWA, not just Super 8, but ECWA moment.
Wow, it's not surprising that your moment contains Darius Carter. If you don't know the guy, the man, I call him the overseer. That's not his official gimmick, but he ain't a gimmick, and it don't matter what stage he's on, how many people in the crowd. Dismantle, technician, whatever you want, and give it to you on the stick. Presentation, entrance, whole aura is ridiculous. I personally don't understand why he's not signed.
Darius Carter is always Darius Carter.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, man. I would love to see him do something in one of those majors. I even threw out one crazy idea: throw him with Imperium. His swag is ridiculous. It would be something different. It's just, he's ridiculous. Highly talented. Guys, if you haven't seen him, I'll leave a link in the description. Cheyenne, you're taking over a new position at ECWA. Can you go into that for the fans and just, if somebody's never seen ECWA, let them know the position, what you intend to bring to that position, and what's in the future for ECWA?
Well, ECWA is the oldest running independent promotion. Jim Kettner is the reason we're all a part of this wonderful brand, starting out in Delaware in the 60s. Of course, this is a place that everyone and anyone, Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, George Steele, Chris Daniels, Adam Cole, Steve Carino, Colby Carino, I mean, Captain Lou Albano, Xavier Woods, Papa Don, anyone and everyone, Joey Ace, Darius Carter, and of course the legendary Mr. Ulala. Some all-time greats of not just the independents, but pro wrestling have been a part of ECWA, be it in Delaware or in the New Jersey incarnation. And, you know, some of the first indie stars, you know, in that same category as ISPW and Tommy Fierro, were born in mainstream out of ECWA. And, you know, to be a part of that company and its history, and to be affiliated with even World One, which we're partnering up with now, has just been incredible. And the fact that the executive committee at ECWA has named me the president has been such an honor.
Congratulations on that too.
Thank you very much.
So president, that's big. Who would you be replacing in that hierarchy? Is there somebody moving, or is that newly created, or how'd that go down?
Well, Coach Jim Shoes, you know, want to focus on family life. He was doing an excellent job as the president. But, you know, when you spend so much time giving your body to wrestling on the road, even if you take it in a smaller role, you're still taking time away from family. And Jim Shorts was excellent. The quote and the vote of confidence that he gave me in the ECWA press release and in person was such a thrill. And the fact that the executive committee thought that I was the man for the job is the biggest honor of all.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. I mean, going from backstage to president. Big shoes. What's your first line of business? Because I'm assuming the desk is, you know, busy over at ECWA.
Well, the first line of business that I wanted to provide, because ultimately Summercade was kind of already getting penciled in as a match card before the official announcement for my new position was made. My main thing right now is the Memorial Day special that's going to air on Monday on our social media platforms. It's going to feature a flag match between LA Vin and, of course, the Russian Assassin. So Legacy Champion LA Vin is going to be defending in that flag match against the Russian Assassin. And, of course, the Backyarders explode in the backyard. So providing content, making executive decisions is my main priority. And I want to start off with a Memorial Day special because ultimately, you know, we're all looking for content. It's a holiday. Not all of us are going to be at barbecues, and some of us are going to be looking for wrestling. So I wanted to execute wrestling for those who want to watch.
Very smart marketing plan there. I like what your thought process, your talk track on it. Yeah, that makes sense because there are always some wrestling fans, family in other places, other states. It's always good for if we can connect with the wrestling fans in that time. Mental health is a thing that I like to talk about a lot. So it's good because mental health runs in the wrestling circles. That type of thing may keep somebody's mind off some things. So
Absolutely.
that's a blessing, or whatever you believe in. That's a good thing. I think good vibes. You know what I mean? So that's pretty awesome. I like that. It sounds like you have a good game plan. I know you have Finnegan over there, Zanoli. You got a pretty good team around you. They won't let you slip at all. You'll be
Not at all. And now we're partnering with Mr. Keener, who's in charge of World One. And if you saw the announcement, I could give you a bit of an exclusive. If you're at Summercade, we're going to open the doors at 6 instead of 7, and we're going to provide you exclusive matches for World One Wrestling as they begin their tapings for their resurgence next year.
Wow. So you said who's running World One?
World One is being run right now by Mike Keener, one of the
legendary referee. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. You gotta look, man. Can y'all save some talent for the rest of us, please?
Yeah, we've got a dynamite staff over there, and that's just on the referee bench alone. The wrestling locker room's not bad either.
You got Keener and Finnegan?
That's right.
Jesus, bro. Young referees, real quick, shameless plug. Young referees, if you can get over there, put a ring up or 2 or 25 and get under that tree, probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Future stuff. Super 8. Real quick, this is a fan part of me coming out here. Super 8 next year. Selection wise, I'm assuming you would be part of that process, right?
Sure.
All right, so I'm gonna get greedy. Anybody out there, and you know what? Just name if you can. We don't want to go too crazy, but if you can, name some people out there that may be floating in that Super 8 selection process, or if there's a theme, because I was part of the Legacy tournament that had second generation, third generation wrestlers all through the tournament. Freaking ridiculous. Should have sold out, but if you can get on their YouTube, check it out. Pillman and Hawaii, all sorts of crazy freaking super card matches in the shades of Joel Goodhart back in the day. Super card, man, should have sold out. Go check that out. Let me know, Super 8 coming up. Do you have anybody selection-wise that you got your eyes on? Is there a theme to this one? Can you give me anything? Now, I know Super 8 is top of the hill.
Occasionally, ECWA, this is, of course, before my leg of the journey as staff, ECWA will occasionally do themes for the Super 8 as we do themes for a lot of our general events. But it's about talent. It's about getting eyes on the brand and on the talent themselves. We want the talent we bring in to put eyes on ECWA, and we want ECWA to put eyes on the talent that we bring in, be it locally or whoever we bring in. I wouldn't say that we're eyeballing a theme, but look, before I got my president gig, I was blessed enough to interview one of my bosses now, Mr. Ryan Kavanaugh, and he gets, this is him alone. I can only imagine what I'm going to get when the time for registration comes. He gets 300 to 500 applicants alone for the Super 8. So I can only imagine. Exactly. So I can only imagine how many I'm going to get, how many Mr. Kettner's going to get, how many, Keener's going to get, and things of that nature. So we're going to be deliberating for a while. I really don't have any dog in the fight, but keeping up with the inclusion of ECWA and trying to broaden the roster. I mean, look, man, she's been in the Northeast before, but I really like Jordan Blue out of the Bay Area in California. I don't want to say she's a friend per se, but we have spoken on and off since the pandemic, and she's kind of blown up since then. And she was out there as soon as she could go back to training in the summer of 2020. She went at it, had her first set of matches. So I don't want to.
That's why
I don't want to say it's going to happen because we're so far from it. But if you blink, we'll be here. But gun to my head, that's the name I'd like to throw out right now, Jordan Blue, to kind of follow in Erica Lee and other footsteps of other female competitors.
Erica Lee. Stamp on that real quick. Jordan Blue's funny because I was playing 2K last night, and she came across as one of the top downloaded female created wrestlers, and I had no clue who this was. So I was, and I'm like, and then you fast forward to the day, weird stuff is going on in my life. Here we go. So now I know who this is.
Yeah.
Wow. That's weird. Okay. So Erica Lee, am I pronouncing that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I wasn't here for this. I strayed away from indie wrestling during this time. Did she win the ECWA Super 8?
If I'm not mistaken, she is the first female in the Super 8s. I have to triple check my homework. I feel completely embarrassed in this moment.
I am sorry because I don't know either. I haven't been keeping track heavy, so we're both a little we messed up there. So we botches happen everywhere, guys.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe she wins the women's Super 8, but I believe she wins the women's Super 8 and then logs into the men's one.
Yeah,
but I don't believe she wins the men's one. I think that's the proper terminology for that.
Historic, nonetheless. Like she's very talented. That was a crazy Super 8 tournament, I believe. I think Killian was in it. Killian won that. Might have.
It's a studded.
Do some research on that.
It's a star-studded. You got to understand, every year with the Super 8 stands out one way or the other because you've got the dynamic of the two ECWA mainstays, give or take. Then you have talent that comes in from across the country. Then you might have the wild cards of the tag guy that wants to try his best, the champion from another division that wants to try himself. The Super 8 is an entity in and out of itself. And I think if you take, for example,
Beast
Erica Lee, who wins the women's one, she's like, well, screw you. I'm going to break a boundary and I'm going to go into the men's one. So win, lose, or draw, just doing that alone,
historic
victory, you know? Same thing for tag competitors that have then become single stars, or will say, hey, I'll try to see you at the finals and then enter a Super 8 tournament. But, the Super 8 is its own prestige along with the rich history of ECWA. And we're so proud of the attention to the brand. The amount of live streams and views that we've gotten this quarter alone, let alone for the year of 2024, has been outstanding. We couldn't be more pleased.
That's great stuff. Now, we want to close it out. I don't want to keep you all night because I know you're busy. But you have an event coming up June 1st. Can you talk them into the building?
Well, Summercade, it's funny. I just happened to pull the card up here just to be safe in case I could get a quick plug in. Summercade is quite a mixed bag of things happening because it's one of the preludes to the August 3rd Night of Legends show in Delaware with some of the stars of the Jim Kettner era. But until then, we've got the ECWA tag team titles are on the line when Crummels and Defarge look to get them back against Billy Wynn and the substitute for his partner, Mr. Ooh La La. So that's going to be great. Bobby Moran comes back from injury. He takes on King Reginald with the Russian assassin at his side in the dreaded Russian roulette match. Of course, the Raw Dog, I have such a problem saying that every time. The Raw Dog, Travis Lee, will take on Heartbreaker Chris Wilde after an amazing comeback match at our last Supercard installment. Of course, Joey Ace is going to take on Abs Armstrong for the territory title match. For the territory title, Kurt Robinson will take on Bonkers Rockwell himself.
We'll put some respect on that Joey Ace match now. We can't just blow by the Joey Ace match like that.
We can't. Joey Ace, when he hears this, is going to text me off the hook. But
yes.
Joey Ace is the only guy on my roster who demands hair pomade in the locker room. So yeah. I love Joey. I love our roster, and I love what we're doing. But yeah, Joey Ace, he's got to really refocus because he's made an enemy as usual in the backyarders, and Abs Armstrong is no slouch either. Abs Armstrong is not a guy to sleep on, and he's now your territory champion, which is another debacle in and out of itself. But I can assure you he's not going to want to lose to Joey Ace, and nobody's going to want to lose at Summercade June the 1st at the Dugout for ECWA.
There you go. The voice, Cheyenne Ortiz. Am I pronouncing your first name right?
That's it, Cheyenne. That's it.
Okay, man. Cheyenne Ortiz, what is the ethnicity, your background? Tell them a little bit about yourself, maybe outside of the wrestling.
Well, I'm a Puerto Rican from the Lower East Side. I loved wrestling my entire life. I have a deep affinity for New York City. It's always going to be my
fan.
Huh?
Yankee fan.
I'm a New York fan. That's the best way to put it. I'm not here to get into sports debates. I don't care. I don't care if it's the Knicks, the Rangers, the Yankees, the Mets. As long as New York's winning, I'm cool. I try my best not to practice tribalism in my life, in or out of wrestling. I know that's a new sexy term, but I've been practicing that beforehand.
There you go.
Yeah, so I have I have a deep affinity for New York, my original home, and I love pro wrestling. I've been an announcer since I'm 13. I've been a professional announcer
13
since I'm 14. Yeah, I started out doing basketball games in New York City at 13 for my home team, for both home teams, the guys team and the girls team. Then in high school, I did baseball, basketball, and the morning and afternoon announcements. I was a student reporter for Scholastic Magazine. I've appeared on NBC, MSNBC, ABC.
God, you ridiculous.
Some pretty major networks. I've been on Hardball with Chris Matthews.
Nice.
I was able to spend a summer with Robin Williams and Billy Crystal doing some stuff. And then I finally pulled the plug and got into wrestling, and this week marks 10 years. So here I am.
Man, you need to write a book.
I could. It's not time yet, but I could. But yeah, it's been 10 years in indie wrestling. I was trained by Mike Morgan Jr., Mike Sr., Will Wyeth, and Jay Lethal over at Ace Pro Wrestling. You could also catch me at Ace Pro Wrestling May 25th for Anarchy over there in Teaneck, New Jersey. That's an awesome card. And I'll be doing commentary for that one. And without them, there is no me. I'm a very thankful, humble person. So yeah, you can interview me alone about my career on another date. But yeah, it's been quite the journey. Backstage interviews, hosting, announcing. Like I said on the Rob Williams podcast, one of the downsides about me was I'm at the end of the DVD era. Wrestling wasn't hitting digital, indie wrestling rather, wasn't hitting digital and social media yet. So a lot of the stuff that I did, you had to pay for. You had to buy a DVD to see a lot of my work. So it wasn't until about just before and obviously after the pandemic that people are like, "Oh, who's that guy?" And I was like, "I've been around." But
there you go.
I'm always trying to get content out there and get my name out there and keep on stepping.
What would you tell, and this is the last thing for you because I ain't going to hold you too much longer. What would you tell up-and-coming ring announcers, commentary guys, or even any secondary type, well, I don't want to say the secondary, but support roles that are looking to escalate in the business, just like a final thoughts of give them some advice because 10 years, you got something.
This is such a cliche, but the number one thing is practice. The number one thing is practice. If it means that much to you, take it upon yourself to practice every day. I try to call one match a day. I'll go on YouTube, whether it's indie, whether it's a television wrestling promotion, and I'll try to call a match. It's tough to do alone, but it's either you sit around and wait for somebody or you just go ahead and do, right? So practice. Try to be your own machine. That's a lesson that I taught myself. So for example, just to give you guys the examples. I need new photos taken. I need a photographer. I don't have a photographer. The person's not available. Oh shit, I don't have any money. Get a white wall, get your best clothes on, and take the pictures yourself.
Bam. If you want
I
get it done.
I need to film this. I need a $500 camera. I need a $600 camera. Turn your phone sideways and hit record. Get it done. Get it out there. You know, there's a lot of time, but not a lot of opportunity. So get them done.
Stop being lazy, guys.
Yeah, but the main thing is also practice. Like if you're gonna come in on a show on a Saturday and not watch any wrestling or not know anything or not know the stories, the guys, the this, the that.
Good luck with that.
So put the time in, practice your craft, because there's somebody out there like me that did, and we'll certainly notice if you have it.
There you go. Cheyenne, thank you for your time, bro. Any last plugs you want to get in?
Please be sure to follow me at linktree.com/Cheyenne the Voice. You can catch me on the following conversations scheduled for one fall on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere you listen to review your podcast. You can also catch me out on my Facebook fan page, facebook.com/Cheyenne the Voice. Be sure to follow me on all forms of social media for all updates, upcoming events, and shows. And of course, you can catch me doing commentary May the 25th for Ace Anarchy in Teaneck, New Jersey. And you can catch me making the right decisions for ECWA on June 1st at Summercade.
There you have it, Cheyenne Ortiz, the Voice. Thank you again, ECWA president. Amazing. Guys, go up there. Let's make a return to ECWA. They're bringing back some prestige. They're kicking it up this year. I love to hear that, guys. Also, mental health. It's not a gimmick. Take care of yourself.
That's right. Mental health. Always remember, be you in a world of them.
There you go. Good night, fellas.